What's up, beer drinkers? How y'all doing this week? Oh, we got a great show for you again this week. We drink and review some delicious beers. We both had winter style beers. I had a holiday beer from Shiner. That's out of what's Shirts? No, not Shirts, Texas. They are out of here. Let me look it up. The Spoetzel Brewery. They're out of Shiner, Texas. That's right. And Shirts is over near San Antonio. And then we also have a beer from Morgan Territory Brewing out of Tracy, California, and that one is a winter lager. So, yeah, we went with the winter themed beer this week, and we also popped open a second beer each, the same beer from Sam Adams. So that'd be a surprise later on in the show. So yeah, we have our beer news, we have our Cöld Brüe List, and of course, we have our Drunken Shenanigans at the end. Please follow us on Untappd, search Cöld Brüe Podcast, and friend us, and we'll friend you back. So without further ado, it's time for another Cöld Brüe. Coming at you pre-recorded from Cöld Brüe Studios. I am Greg. He is Sorcerer Chromatic, and we're here to talk about beer.
Yes, we are.
How you doing this week, man?
Oh, doing good. Short week coming up the holiday, and then had a birthday party for my older daughter. So yeah, it's all good.
Already, huh? Did a little early?
Yeah, well, her birthday is the 29th. So
right.
Yeah, it's the evening of the 25th we're recording. So yeah, we're good.
All right, cool. Yeah, we didn't record last week, but I had the Copper State Beer Fest, so that filled in. I don't know if were you able to listen to it yet?
No, not yet. I didn't realize that's what you threw up. I'll definitely check that out though. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's fun. I talked to John from Saddle Mountain. He's a social media director, but he also the event coordinator too. And he invited me to join them for their first responder, like firefighter fundraiser in March. And he invited me to be to have my booth there. So I'm going to be recording there too in March the 2nd.
Oh, there you go.
So that's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to that.
No,
but anyway,
I am interested to see how that would go for you as well.
Yeah, and then I had two festival goers that sat down, and I from what I heard from some feedback, the second one, Alexis, she was funny. So I kind of forgot what we talked about, but I hope it's entertaining to everyone out there.
I think it will be.
All right. You ready to get
excited though. That's like legit, like the whole booth setup.
I know. I've arrived.
You know what? I want to get you like one of those little desk, nameplates, but it just instead of your name, it'll say owner operator.
Right. I like that. Yeah. All right, let's get to some beers.
Sure.
All right, so this week we kind of went with a little bit of a theme. We're doing like winter beers, and so I have from Spoetzel, or is it Spoetzel Brewery. I have Shiner Holiday Cheer. It's an ale brewed with peaches and pecans, and with natural and caramel color. Every drop of Shiner is brewed in Shiner, Texas. And I thought everything was supposed to be bigger in Texas, but it's only 12 ounces and it's 5.4% alcohol by volume. But without missing a beat, pop off. What do you got?
I got from our friends out of. I didn't realize that they were out of Tracy, California.
Oh, okay. Where'd you think they were out of?
Out of Morgan.
Morgan Hill?
No, from Morgan Territory Brewing out of Tracy, California. Now, I thought they were more like from my perspective of California, more northeast, almost like to Tahoe, like Auburn area, like Moonraker in them. Like I thought they were kind of in that section. So I got from Morgan Territory. I got their Tipping Point, which is an Imperial Pilsner, a lager with spruce tips.
Just the
Yeah,
tips.
this intrigued me just because it was kind of a strong for a Pilsner. Um,
Yeah.
or I'm sorry, well, Pilsner lager. It's coming in at 7.5 alcohol by volume
Yeah, it's
and
big.
38 IBUs. Although I'm inclined to guess that's part of the spruce tipness of, if you will, rather than just the fact that it's a imperial, lager.
Yeah. I would think the spruce would add more of a dank, piney bitterness to it.
Right. And that's what I was going to go to is the spruce tips. I forgot the one that does that. Uh, I don't want to get off track because of our new recording style, but I just want to say that yeah, that kind of could give that Northern California, yeah, like danky IPA hoppiness profile to it.
Right.
So, that any further ado, Tippy Point Imperial Pilsner. Tippy Point Imperial Pilsner is our annual winter holiday lager. We bring together modern sapphire hops. Oops.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't my fault. It was
Fear.
like the printing and then like the logo behind it kind of blended. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Um, Spicy citrus and traditional spruce tips to create a unique satisfying lager that is not too heavy but belongs to the cool winter months. We use premium Pilsner malt brewed to imperial strength to balance the spicy hop and botanical presence with subtle bread notes and light sweetness. We hope this special lager will bring some warmth to your holidays, medium bodied with elevated carbonation. Um, yeah, so once again, 7.50 ABV and um, 38 IBUs. Any further ado, pop off.
Very nice. Let me read from the untapped written portion of the holiday cheer, a Bavarian style dark wheat ale, Dunkelweizen, brewed with Texas peaches and roasted pecans. The malty flavors are enhanced through the use of malted barley and wheat, and krausening ensures a smoothness that makes the subtle peach and pecan flavors all the more satisfying. I do get a lot of pecan, just a slight subtle hint of peach. I can't really. It's not a big, huge peach forward, but it is kind of the caramel and toffee notes, and I can't really taste a lot of the wheat or like the mouthfeel isn't that present. It's more of a lighter and cleaner, refreshing type of taste, mouthfeel to it. So it's really good. I like it. I haven't had a lot of wheat beers, Dunkelweizens to begin with, but this one's really good, and I can see why it's their holiday ale, their Christmas ale, because it would pair very well, not with the food so much, but with like desserts.
I see.
Hmm.
Okay, so when you're talking about your beer, I was sipping mine, and it's got some bitterness to it, like not like bad in a bad way, just that profile is there.
Right.
It has opened up. I got acclimated right away because it hit me harder than I expected. A lot of light mouthfeel as well. So I guess that is the Pilsner profile.
Yeah.
And going off that, the breadiness not quite there yet. Maybe it's still a little bit too cold. However, yeah, I'm getting a lot of that botanicalness,
Hmm.
the spruce tips more than anything right now.
Very nice. All right, so we will rate our beers later on during our untapped portion of the show. Don't forget to
Oh,
follow
real
us
quick
on.
too,
Yeah.
aromatic wise too. Yeah, it does smell like piney, not piney, but piney. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say like you think it's gonna be like an IPA profile. However, it just got that strong aromatic scent to it.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. I'm kind of jealous. I can't get that over here because I mean, it sounds like a danky IPA, almost like an IPL.
Pretty much. We're getting that way.
Yep.
But hey, next time you're in Tracy, check it out.
I don't know the next time I'll be there, but
Oh,
all right then. All right.
you're
So
welcome.
will rate our beers later on during our Untapped portion of the show. Don't forget to follow us on Untapped. Search Cold Brew Podcast and friend us, and we'll friend you back. But right now, it's time for some beer news. All right. I'm trying to find this story because I thought I think this might be it right here. The Leinenkugel brothers are trying to buy their brand name back from Molson Coors.
Oh,
Yeah, you know, Leinenkugel, they make that lemon shandy that everyone seems to love every summer, and then they forget about
yeah,
it
I
in the
know.
winter.
That's a huge, a very popular beer. I don't want to say cult following in a disparaging way. However, there's people that jones that stuff, and because
Uh-huh.
it is seasonal, they buy it by the case rather than the 6 pack.
Right. Let's see here. The article from Vine Pair, written by our buddy, our long contributor, I should say, David
Yes,
Fonte.
yeah, show contributed.
He does contribute. He doesn't know it. We don't pay him, but
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
the the what do you call it? The headline is Molson Coors' Leinenkugel snub. Maybe it's right, but it still sucks. This is no country for old breweries. Beer sales are down, contract capacity is plentiful, and urban real estate is valuable. Enormous, inefficient, and ill positioned to serve the cities and markets they help build, the legacies of America's aged brew houses are in jeopardy all over the country. A resilient few still churn out beer. The rest have been converted to condos or bulldozed entirely. Once proud brands sold off to become contract brewed zombies or unceremoniously scrapped. So it goes, and it's going at Leinenkugel's. Last week, the Jacob Leinenkugel Brewing Company in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, closed after 157 years in operation. This is not a sudden shutdown. Molson Coors, which has VS since the merged Miller Brewing Company, owned the firm since 1988, announced its plans to idle the plant and move production of its beers to its larger, more modern facility in Milwaukee, 4 hours southeast. The Chicago based conglomerate has said that it plans to hang on to Liney's Big Red Brew House, which today stands on the same spring fed site that Jacob himself selected for his eponymous brewery back in 1867 and operate it as a pilot facility. We are incredibly proud of Liney's, the many people in Chippewa Falls who built this brand into what it is today and what it will continue to be years to come. A true Wisconsin beer beloved by people across the country. MC spokesperson, excuse me, Adam Collins told the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel last week. The company did not respond to Hop Take's request for comment. Members of the Leinenkugel family aren't feeling the love. Last week, fifth generation Shandyman Dick Leinenkugel posted an open letter to social media lamenting the parent company's decision and beseeching it to reconsider a proposal from him and his brother Jake to sell the Chippewa Falls property and potentially the Liney brand back to the family, rather than turn it into just another undifferentiated asset in its global portfolio. The Leinenkugel suggested a non-disclosure agreement with MC Molson Coors to put Chief Executive Gavin Hattersley at ease to speak freely about potential outcomes. They said that offer was rebuffed and that a follow-up remained unanswered a week later. We remain optimistic that Molson Coors' leadership will reconsider our proposal and engage in meaningful discussions about safeguarding this important part of our heritage, reads the Leinenkugel's open letter. Dick did not respond to a request for comment. That optimism isn't totally unwarranted. By now, a major macro brewery cutting bait on a struggling craft brewing acquisition is de rigueur or de rigueur. De rigueur? I don't know how to pronounce that. It seems very French. And MC's fellow macro brewers have assuaged some of their own buyer's remorse by flipping brewhouse keys back to their original owners. Anheuser-Busch InBev did that with Appalachian Mountain Brewery in 2023. Constellation Brands did likewise with both Funky Buddha and Four Corners that same year. None of MC's craft acquisitions wound up back in their founders' hands. Four joined ABI's also ran on Tilray Brands' Island of Misfits microbreweries in 2024. The fifth, Leinenkugels, was not included in the deal. Just to be clear, this doesn't change anything related to Blue Moon or Leinenkugels. MC's chief commercial officer, Michelle St. Jacques, wrote in an August 2024 memo to wholesalers obtained by Brewbound. These brands continue to play an important role in our premiumization plans. Is that a word? Premiumization. Sounds like a made-up word.
Yeah. Sounds like an excuse to say why you charge people more.
There are no changes to our commitment to them. This thing goes on and on. This is a very well. Dave writes great stuff. I really enjoy reading his articles.
Good contributor.
Yeah, very good contributor. He should be paid more.
Yes. Not by
Anyway,
us, but in general.
yeah. So the Leinenkugel brothers, they wanted to buy their brand name back. You know, they talk about how Funky Buddha bought their brand back from ABI, but they're like the first generation. They're probably the people who opened Funky Buddha. This is like 5 generations later. This is like what 1988. So what? Shoot, like 36 years, 37 years after it got sold. That's kind of hard to buy it back.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, because it's just so entrenched in the Molson Coors' portfolio that it's not like brand new. It just came on. They're like, that's not working. We need to get rid of it. We'll just sell it back to the original owner. It's not like that. This is different.
Yeah, it's like if Bobby Toyota wanted to buy Toyota back.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Bob was friends.
Yeah. Very Americanized. Anyway, yeah, Leinenkugels. I mean, I'm not a big Shandy guy. So, but like you said, it's got its own cult type following, right?
Yeah. I mean, the demand is there. I've seen people like I said, I seen it at the store in 6-packs. And goes, all right, and started throwing cases into his cart. It's like, all right, then you do you,
Right.
And I guess that was a funny thing too. Is I remember when I first started going to brewery events before I learned about what. In fact, we'll talk about this later. However, Leinenkugel, I mean, that was just a normal booth, and you'd see it in the store. It seemed to rather kind of slowly get scarce, and then when it was super seasonal, like in a smaller window, that's when people really were like I was aware that people were like, hey man, where's the Leinenkugel?
Mm-hmm. But anyway,
and they had some other they had some other variations too, with like I want to say like a blueberry, and I think they even did a pumpkin one year too, so it's interesting.
Yeah. All right, moving on. One more story before we move on with our next segment. This comes to us from Forbes. The writer is Don Say. The contributor actually says contributor here. The headline is Rate Beer is shutting down. This fan is trying to save it. I had no idea Rate Beer was still around.
Yeah.
Didn't they get bought out by AB InBev a long time ago?
Oh, is that them? Yeah, I remember something vaguely like that. So people were feeling that the algorithms were manipulated.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, because there was the big three, right? It was Beer Advocate, Rate Beer, and Untapped.
Right.
And so Beer Advocate's still around. Rate Beer, as soon as they got bought out, everyone's like, we can't trust that no more. So they stopped using that. Beer Advocate is still used, and we used Untapped because that's what we chose, and we're sticking with it. Anyway.
Personally too, I think it's the easier one to use.
Yeah, it is a lot easier than.
I think it was designed a little bit more for the user interaction.
I think Rate Beer was designed for the desktop, laptop, and Untapped was designed for a phone.
There you go.
It seems like it anyway, just using it. Anheuser-Busch AB InBev, Anheuser-Busch InBev, commonly referred to as AB InBev, through its growth and innovation arm, ZX Ventures, acquired Rate Beer, a once popular consumer beer rating website, in 2016. Since that time, many of the website's users, typically craft beer passionate people, have ceased to use it. And Anheuser-Busch InBev, why did you just keep using and AB InBev announced in December 2024 that it would shutter the site in February. For Joseph Tucker, who founded the website in 2000 and continued to be its global project manager even during the AB InBev ownership, it's a sad end to the site he created and grew. Tucker believes Rate Beer played a part in the explosive growth in craft beer early in the century and created a community for the like-minded beer lovers to share information. The site was a treasure trove of data, which was the stated reason for AB InBev acquiring Rate Beer in 2016. Since then, many craft beer drinkers who often like to eschew from the large multinational breweries stopped using the site. Meanwhile, Untapped, a more mobile-friendly competitor, gained in popularity with a broader crowd. The parent company of Untapped, Next Glass, acquired Beer Advocate, another competitor to Rate Beer, in 2020. Despite Tucker continuing to manage Rate Beer, AB InBev neglected the site even today. An announcement at the top of the homepage dates back to 2020. In December, it dates back to 2020. In December 2024, the closure of Rate Beer was announced in rather unceremonious fashion, with Tucker posting a public statement on the website with instructions on how users can download their ratings before the site is closed down. On the website's homepage, a small, innocuous notice directs visitors to that public post. Anyway, that sucks. I mean, it seems like that guy, that was his he created it. It was his baby, and now he's got to get rid of it. It's defunct.
Yeah, I mean, what do I want to say? But some people could also look at it just like another tech acquisition as well.
Yeah.
We're interested in it because of the beer aspect of it. Whereas some people are just a business decision.
Yeah. I'm sure Tucker got his money. They got bought out by AB InBev, and they gave him money and they gave him a job. So they gave him even more than that. So, he got his. It sucks though, as far as he's concerned, is like, to see the end of this. But at the same time, from our perspective, as soon as it got bought, they should have known. They should have fucking read the writing on the wall before they even. I understand they wanted the data, but they probably could have mined the data without having to, I don't know, without having to control it.
I get what you mean.
Anyway, they should have just they should have seen it coming. Like I didn't see them shutting down. I just knew that it wasn't going to get any traffic once they got bought.
I dig.
All right. Anyway, they don't call him the best color man in the podcast industry for nothing, folks.
All right.
All right.
RB Euchre, man.
Oh yeah, no shit. Forgot about that. And I keep forgetting to do all my little my notes like this one. Forgot that. I forgot to do the intro song. Man, I'm off my game. See, you're gone 1 week and I totally fucked everything up.
Well, sounds like it.
Anyway, but I remember this one. You know what time it is?
I think I do.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment on Cöld Brüe, because it's my favorite segment. It's time for the Cöld Brüe List.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've been to Chuck E. Cheese?
That's funny. I was just talking with some friend of mine about Chuck E. Cheese a few days ago. Last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese, shit, we have a place out here called Peter Pan's. It's kind of like a knockoff Chuck E. Cheese. Well, I wouldn't call it knockoff, but it's just not as glamorous. It's not as big, but it's still got all the same.
Is it Disney affiliated?
No, it is not. But last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese, I would say probably like about, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago.
I love the irony. It's called Peter Pan's, but it's a Chuck E. Cheese knockoff.
I know, right? Because it's not as big. It's not as big and grand as Chuck E. Cheese is, but it's still the same concept. Shitty pizza with a bunch of games and kids running around crying and yelling at each other and noise, and then at least they have beer so you can but you know, it's small enough where you could sit in your booth and drinking your beer and keep an eye on your kids, make sure no one takes them.
Right. Okay. So like I mentioned, I had a birthday party for my older daughter, and she wanted to do Chuck E. Cheese. She turned 5. And
Nice.
you know, my wife and I weren't the biggest on it, but like because we've taken them to Chuck E. Cheese just to go play, you know, and
Yeah.
I remember one time, and she was probably only 3 at the time, but there was a birthday party going on, or there's several birthday parties going on at the time, and it was she like just stopped and paid attention when you know, the show was going on and like the cartoons and all that, and she's like, I want that. So yeah, time went on and we asked her what she wanted for her birthday, and yeah, lo and behold, she still said Chuck E. Cheese. All right, well, let's do it. So you know, of course, shout out to the engineer. She hooked up a great party, and we invited a lot of her friends from school, and they came through, which was cool. Really nice. So with that said, my list is going to be hello, hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Uh,
I don't know what happened.
okay.
Just the fact that she wanted it and was able to vocalize it, that's kind of a big development.
Well, when she was that young, yeah. However, like now, it's no big deal. Now she screams at me for anything. She's 5.
Okay. You're longing for the days back in the day. Anyway, what are you culminating to?
I'm doing the top 10 things you didn't know about Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I didn't know probably all 10. So go ahead.
Okay. Are you familiar with Mr. Munch?
No.
Okay, so he's one of the characters of Chuck E. Cheese,
Uh-huh.
and Mr. Munch was supposed to remind you of Cookie Monster. So he's like a big purple furry monster.
Oh, he's a purple guy. Okay, I know the purple guy.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, he's just supposed to be a
Cookie Monster knockoff. Make you
yeah,
want dessert.
pretty much.
Okay.
All right. Number 9, the animatrons will never die.
That sounds very ominous.
I know. Um, real quick, yeah, the animatrons at Chuck E. Cheese, they're not motorized. They're pneumatic.
Oh, okay.
And because of pneumatic, there's very little wear or very little issues with them other than possible leaks. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. Yeah, because it's all basically rams and cylinders and fittings and all that, and basically all you got to do is change seals and fittings and lines, maybe. Very
keep
cheap.
that PSI going. Yeah,
That's why they're all kind of herky jerky, then, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that's the one thing is I guess the pressure regulators or whatever.
Yeah, it's really
So
hard to a variable regulator is very hard to. Those are expensive too.
uh,
So it's either all or nothing.
so then it took 3 hours to program 1 minute of animatronic action.
Jeez.
So we're talking about the pneumatic. So just the timing for the band to play or do a movement to look like they were playing. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's not just for one of the it's this story comes from the whole band. Like, you know, it
Oh,
took 3
okay.
hours
All
to
right.
get 1 minute of the whole band doing what they want to do.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not like just one. Yeah, 3 hours for one. There's like 10 or no 7, 5 or 7 people. So yeah, I get it. Okay, I get it.
So check this out. I didn't know this, but the original name was. Do you know the original name?
I might have heard this before, but go ahead.
Okay, Rick Rat's Pizza.
I knew it was a rat thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, then they kind of realized that rat doesn't go good with food restaurants and stuff. So
Yeah. Hopefully they caught it quick.
okay.
Real quick,
Um,
you mentioned rat. Real quick, we didn't see one rat when we were in New York City.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, so we were in the at least we benefited from not having to see any of that because hey, nobody wants to see that. When we were in New Orleans, I saw rats.
Oh, oh really? I don't remember seeing rats.
Because remember, I went down that alley because I had to take a leak. So I was one of those guys
Oh,
who took a leak down the alley, which I'm not proud of it, but then that's when I saw a
yeah,
couple rats.
yeah. Um, all right, this guy, screenwriter Mike Hatcher, created the skits. So going back to that programming and stuff, this guy was involved with it.
All right.
I'm not sure. This story though doesn't mention his other screenwriting credits, but Mike Hatcher.
Oh, okay.
All right, number 5. Blame Disneyland's Tiki Room for the animatronics idea.
I love that spot.
Yeah. So yeah, he got the idea from the whole Tiki Room.
Right. And those are probably pneumatic too. The way they jerk around.
Oh yeah, yeah, like and then the stuff on the walls and stuff. I can
Mm-hmm.
see that. I mean, because well, pneumatic is air pressure, right?
Yep.
And then hydraulic is fluid pressure, and then what's the one where it's just actuator? That's just that's motorized though,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Right.
But so yeah, maybe they have a few motor ones, but regardless, moving on. Chuck E. Cheese was originally supposed to be a coyote.
Oh,
They
okay.
went from rat to coyote.
He does have that long
But,
snout like a Wile E. Coyote does.
yeah, right. Um, so yeah, so the designer went with a rat because, like, I guess there was a concept sketch of a coyote character, and the person who made the outfit and stuff thought it was a rat. So there you go. A cartoonish drawing took more.
They're probably going off the success of Mickey Mouse and all that stuff too. I mean, come on. Who you trying to kid?
um, okay, so here's where I get a little deep. The animatronic characters were for the parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But they're for the kids.
So, well, yeah, it's for the parents, or it's kind of like a show that the parents think that's part of the experience. So, hey, we get a free show with this. However, no, the kids are running around spending money at the arcade.
Yeah. Right.
So it's kind of like that head fake marketing.
You know what's for the parents is the beer.
There you go. Like, no, well, not all Chuck E. Cheese serve beer.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, here's one. Number 2. There's pizza because that's hard to screw up.
yeah. But Chuck E. Cheese might also prove it's hard to get right too.
Yeah. There you go. And number 1, the guy who made Atari also created Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, okay. That's the most surprising one right there.
Nolan Bushnell.
Yep, I've heard that name
American
before.
engineer, entrepreneur. Yeah, founded Atari, created Chuck E. Cheese.
Wow. This guy's just inventing shit left and right. First a video game, and then then he probably wanted like a restaurant for kids to play the video games, right? Or he
Yeah,
envisioned that. Smart guy,
yeah.
man. This guy.
No, definitely. And I heard because it has roots in the Bay Area. Namco also was in on that.
Oh, okay. Right on. But I mean, me and you growing up, we had we had Bullwinkles. which was but they had the same
A
thing at the
knockoff,
show.
another knockoff Chuck E. Cheese.
Dude, that was so much better. I don't know. I like Bullwinkle's way better than Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, like, geez, I given like so many people this speech. Like growing up, where we had the Anomaly Chuck E. Cheese in San Jose, that 3-story one. I
Yeah,
didn't
the
realize
huge.
that. I always thought that's what Chuck E. Cheese was. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
you listeners that aren't familiar in the Bay Area, there's a huge freaking 3-story Chuck E. Cheese in San Jose. You could see it off the freeway,
still there.
and yeah, it's still there. It's
Was it?
sorry to say it's sketch in the sketch part of town,
Yeah,
but it is
101
what
in
it is.
Tully, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right off Tully. Um, However, yeah, it was fun. 3 stories, arcades, pizza, madness running around. However, as a parent now, I'm thinking, oh my God, dude, I got to go round up, you know, kids on 2 flights of levels to go get pizza and all that stuff if
right.
we were having a party. So, and yeah, it wasn't until I think your daughter's, preschool promotion or whatever, we went to the one in Cupertino.
Yeah,
And that's just like a little pizzeria restaurant that's Chuck E. Cheese. I'm like, well, wait a minute, this is different. I didn't know, but then yeah, I found out like no, like yeah, you go all over California and they're like that. They're not like San Jose. I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah. And Peter
So
Pan's like that, but even smaller than the Chuck E. Cheeses that we've been to. The single story ones. Anyway, go ahead.
oh yeah, and then I also throw in the fact that then being from Santa Clara, we had Bullwinkles, and that was kind of in between, I guess. No, it wasn't 3 stories, but it is bigger than the one than the one in Cupertino by far.
Yeah, yeah. And
So yeah,
they had like that
there's
dark
levels to this.
showroom.
Yeah, the dark showroom, dining room. Then they had the game room, and then wasn't there like no? It was just another arcade room in the back. They didn't have like ball pits or nothing like that, did they?
No, but they had a like a private party room in the back, the Dudley Do Rights room. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, when if you they still had the birthday parties in the showroom. Oh, and they had like the fountain. Remember with all those sprinklers
yeah.
going back and forth and
Right, right.
with the light show on them and the music and everything. And then yeah,
Yeah.
they had that Dudley Do Rights room in the back. If you had like a your own party, you wanted a private party, probably cost a little bit more too.
Hmm.
So it was good. And they had those booths, those like the upper level booths. Remember those?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was kind of like a theater seating or balcony seating.
I mean, they really did a good job. It was almost like
Mm.
you were in a like the Copacabana or something.
Yeah, there you go.
What's the name of
The showgirls up there.
what's the name of that club that Tony Montana got gunned down in?
Oh shoot, I forgot.
I forgot to. Anyway, they cook you steak as big as a horse. Anyway, yeah. But what goes with fun?
Definitely. And then too, like I said, I've taken my daughters to Chuck E. Cheese just to play around with plenty of
Yeah.
times. This is our first time having a party there, and we've never been invited to a party there yet. Who know her friends loved it. Like they want to come. They're already asking her like they're leaving. They already want to come back.
Right. For their own. So
But
you might
that's
have
not
to come
on.
back a
Yeah,
couple more times.
but that's not on me. But what I want to say was one of the times we took them was when they shut down that animatronic uh, look,
Yeah.
but they just they just like put tarps over the band, and they had like a new digital floor, like a digital dance floor.
Huh.
And of
Okay.
course, you had the games and stuff like that. And that was like the same time that movie, that what is it, that Night at Freddy's or whatever.
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah.
Yeah, there were the whole a horror movie with the theme like they're trapped in Chuck E. Cheese or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, yeah,
Did
they
you
come
see it?
alive.
I don't watch horror movies. Yeah,
No,
I don't watch those, or I don't watch any movies. But no, I don't watch. I don't watch a lot of scary or horror movies. And
I played the game
that
though.
was the theme.
There's a video game.
Oh, geez. How, how many tickets did you win? No. Um, with all that said, though, it's just interesting how how there's the timing. It seemed like that movie just screwed over Chuck E. Cheese.
A little bit, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like it looks like a mouse or a rat, but I think it's a bear. And then all the other characters.
No, it's a bear, but just the whole. It's it's Chuck E. Cheese. It's not Chuck E. Cheese, but it is Chuck E. Cheese, and
Right.
we're killing people in this place.
It is a good idea for a horror film, though.
Yeah, but then too, they added like a trampoline zone and they called it a ninja run, which is just kind of like you like one of those rooms that's like it's like lined in foam and it's like a giant obstacle course. There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
It's
all right.
padded,
Yeah.
it's all padded, everything. So yeah, there's a lot going on in there. I'm like, all right, cool. And of course, my daughters loved it. They ran themselves ragged and then fought me and my wife about taking naps. So
that's what it's good for. Right.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Cool. All right. So great story. Good talk. How's your beer treating you?
Good. Almost gone.
Yeah, mine totally gone. We're gonna rate our beers right now on Untapped. So just search Cöld Brüe Podcast, and you can see what we drink before the show comes out. I know you had Morgan Territory. There was a tipping point or tippy point.
Tipping.
All right. Tipping point. There's a couple. We have Log Yard. Oh, brother. There it is. Tipping Point by Morgan Territory Brewing. What would you like to rate this beer at?
Imperial Lager. I'm going to give this one. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
All right. It has an overall rating right now of 3.68. So you're pretty much right there. Not total lockstep, but very close. And what notes would you like to leave?
Oh, geez. I will say Pilsnery.
Is that a word? Is that like premiumization? Yep, Pilsnery.
I'll say aromatic. Yeah, aromatic.
Yeah.
And bitter.
And bitter. Save and check in. None of our friends have rated it as of yet. This Shiner holiday cheer. I like it, man. It's really good. Haven't had too many Dunkelweisens. It's probably not, if we had a German on here, he or she would probably be like, oh, this is not authentic. That was my best German accent, by the way. But I like it. I think it's good. I'm gonna give it a 4. So let me look up let's see here. Holiday cheer. There it is. Shiner Holiday Cheer has an overall rating of 3.59. So I'm giving it a 4. And I'm gonna say it is it's kind of a little bit fruity and a little bit nutty. Fruity and nutty. But what's the word? Not when it's got it's got a clean mouthfeel. I don't want to call it refreshing, probably, but clean. I was just say clean. I don't know how else to describe it. And check in. All right. Real quick, just on kind of piggybacking off of just winter beers, so to speak. You and I came up with an idea to feature a second beer. And this one is everywhere, ubiquitous as far as beer is concerned, I would think. Sam Adams Cold Snap.
Yes.
Which is a white ale. It is unfiltered and lively. This crisp white ale gets a kick from a bright blend of smooth spring spices. That's from Jim Koch, founder and brewer. And it comes in at 5.3% alcohol by volume, with a rating of 10 IBUs. While we're pouring and drinking it, pop off. I heard, and I've been trying to find it. this week. Maybe it'll come out next week because I thought they already announced it. But the alcohol, tobacco, the ATTB, and Taxation Bureau. I forgot what it's called, but or the actual what the acronym stands for. But they were supposed to come out with an announcement about new labeling laws for beer. Whether it's going to be just the alcohol by volume or alcohol by weight, or even the nutritional value, and who qualifies or who must put it on. Like if there's a volume, if like a brewery produces a certain volume, they have to put on the nutritional value of their beer.
That's interesting.
Dude, I looked. The Brewers Association said that the announcement was going to be made, I think, last Friday, and I looked it up, and all I could find was the announcement that the announcement was going to be made. So I haven't figured out what the fuck is going on yet. So that's going to be something that's coming up in the next week or two. I'll bring it up, but it just reminded me right now when I was reading off the label. Cold Snap, what do you think? Cold Snap's been around.
Okay, so I have Cold Snap, but I don't have it with me. And let me get my.
All right,
I messed that up. My bad.
terrible.
I was keeping it cold.
Keeping it good. Should have had a igloo like right there, right next to you. But what can you do? Cold Snap, I do like Cold Snap. It's been a while since I bought a big old case of it. It's been a while since I bought it. Take that back. I did have it a couple weeks ago at a restaurant. It's a good beer. Not a big white ale fan, but it's better than a Belgian wit because there's no coriander. And you know me and coriander. Fuck that. Can't do it. Just can't do it. But yeah, so Cold Snap's been around a while. I know it's one of Sorcerer Chromatic. It's one of his it's one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, longtime listeners and supporters of the show might know. I mean, and I'm a huge Sam Adams fan to begin with.
Yeah.
So yeah, just this is one of their regular seasonals, right? It's their. It's not obviously it's not their winter ale, but it's still a wintertime seasonal, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I think this one just for me though, it seems like it's pushed up more because like Cold Snap is supposed to be the changing of the season and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And here we are in January,
Well, it's like the pumpkin beers come out in August now. It seems like they're
Right.
pushing them earlier and earlier. Next thing you know, we're gonna have Cold Snap, in October and pumpkin beers in July,
Right.
or even earlier than that, maybe even May. I did see a pumpkin beer on the shelf at Total Wine, but that's just because it was probably a holdover.
Yeah, unfortunately too, I do see that too, where seasonals just don't hit as hard as they used to, or sometimes it's the I don't want to say the store's fault, but the store just goes, oh yeah, let's we had a good run last year, let's make sure we don't run out, and they stock up more, and it didn't do for whatever reason, and that's the thing too. You run out, people buy something else, and then next year comes around and like, hey, I like that something else better anyway, so screw it.
Yeah. It's better to not when in retail for the seasonal stuff. It's better to not have enough than too much. But
I can imagine, yeah.
Something like Total Wine, they're not really focused on beer. They probably make more in wine and spirits anyway.
Totally.
Very good. Yeah. So your take on this Cold Snap, this season's Cold Snap.
It's a winter ale. However, I always kind of think of it as a it's a wit, right?
No, it's a white ale, so it's not like a Belgian wit, so there's no
Oh,
coriander or nothing in it.
that's what I thought. To me, it's in that family.
Yeah, like a
I get
hef,
it.
or
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. Yeah,
So it's just like the winter version of it in my eyes.
I like it. I like this better than any wit beer that I've ever had. I like it better than the Hefeweizens, to be honest.
Ooh,
I like this one. This is for some reason I just like this style of white. This I like white ales.
there you go. There's not a lot. I mean, who else is in this category?
What is it? Allagash or white ale?
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go.
And but that one's like I would call that like
But it's a
the
Belgian,
pinnacle.
yeah.
That's like the pinnacle of white ales. But this
Doesn't
one's up there.
doesn't Avery have one too? Oh no, it's a wit.
Is it the Rascal?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking of? I think you might be right. It's been a long time, long time. But anyway, all right. So moving right along to our drunken shenanigans. We could talk drunken shenanigans. We could talk about anything. I'm getting ahead of myself in my own words. Real quick before we get on to sports or anything, when last weekend I took my daughter to this place called Round One. It's like an arcade. It's at the mall. It's at the Arrowhead Mall up in Glendale, and it reminds me like I've never been to like Japan or Korea, but it's like one of those Asian arcades where they have like I don't know like 1 or 200 like claw machines with and they're all like little tiny. A lot of them are little tiny ones. There's medium sized ones. There's big ones. You can just like win like a little stuffed animal keychain, or you can win like this huge like life size rendition of a stuffed animal. But it's crazy. It's like the kids love this stuff, and it's it's fucking insane because it's like here, take my money because I guess I don't need it.
Right.
They also have like a bowling alley in there, and they upstairs you could rent out like a your own private arcade where it's got like like all those little motorcycle games or the Mario Kart games, and they also have a trampoline park up there. You have to pay to get into that, and upstairs is also for the little toddlers. You have to pay to get into like one of those habit trails like for hamsters for kids, like the McDonald's playlands. Yeah, this place is fucking wild. It's like 2 stories, and it's at least downstairs they do have a bar though, so you can get some beer if and
There
watch
you
your
go.
kids play the games. But yeah, this place is pretty wild as far as like I have many of those claw games, man. I never liked claw games. Did you ever play them? Do you like claw games at all?
Uh, no, no. I mean, to me, it's like a scam. Like,
Yeah,
well, like again, going back to Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese is all digital now. It's on cards. It keeps your ticket points on cards and stuff like that. However,
yeah.
yeah, going back to the ticket games. I mean, it's all a scam. Just to get your money. You get 3,000 tickets. You spent who knows what for a $5 prize at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
like those
then you have
midway games too. They're all the house wins all every single time.
yeah. I mean, even the kids that cheat at skee ball and just throw them in, run up and throw them in. I mean, they're still coming out ahead.
Right, exactly. So if she's having fun, cool. I don't want to break the illusion for her. She's still young enough yet where she still believes that everything is winnable or attainable.
Right.
Plus, it gets her out of the house for a while. Gets her off of her phone and tablet.
Vices.
Anyway, and then this past day we went to this place called Museum of Illusion. I'm like, ooh, this sounds kind of cool. It's another. It's super small. It's got like a lot of those optical illusions, and here sit in this chair. It's on a slanted wall, and I bet you can't stand up. That type of stuff.
Oh, like mystery spot.
Yeah, but not quite because like they have like it's hard. They have like you've seen those pictures where like a bunch of squares and all the squares are black and all the lines that are bisecting them are white, but then you see like little black circles in the where the lines
Yeah.
connect. Is shit like
Right.
that. the MC Escher painting type stuff, where it's like, how is this stair leaning into that stair? There's some of that, but then there's also like, remember Universal Studios when you're on the tram and you go through that tunnel that's spinning around and you get all nauseous and everything. They have one like something like that, and you have to walk through it. And like, dude, I felt like I was falling over, and I was leaning. Thank God there was a rail because I had to hold on to the rail because I thought I was gonna fall. They also have a room where, like, if you stand like in one corner, you're small, and if you stand in the other corner, you're big. So like, and you could take a picture. Yeah. They actually have a phone holder where you can like set up your phone and then hit the timer and then go run and take a picture of you and your kid, and your kid's like bigger than you.
There you go.
They have it reminds me of like a little mini. It was a mini what's the name of that place in San Francisco? The Exploratorium.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, it was like a mini Exploratorium, but I don't know. They said, oh, you could spend like an hour in here. We spent like 20 minutes, and it was like, that's it. That was it. It was small. But it's not a good time. But yeah, that round one it reminds me of that Fat Cats too, because that's another here, take my money because I guess I don't need it anymore because I want my kid to have fun.
Is it a chain or is it like the only one?
I don't know. I think there might be some like maybe in like the bigger cities, like as far as like part of the mall type of outfit, but I mean they also have like they have bowling lanes in there, and they have a restaurant in there. Yeah, it's like a big it's huge. It's bigger than it should be, but I don't know. Kids like it. It's better than Chuck E. Cheese, I'll tell you that.
There you go.
Maybe it's best that you guys don't have one because you'd be spending more money on your kids.
Let's see. It's not like the highest bar you set there.
I know, right? Oh man. Real quick, how you liking the NFL playoffs so far?
Man, I wanted the Ravens to go.
I know you did.
It's interesting. I think a lot of people are a little too conspiracy with the Chiefs thing. I mean, it happens. Chiefs were going to win that game regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there was penalties that they kept the game alive. Buffalo, though, they look. I mean,
they got lucky, man. They got. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they pulled one out. I mean, yeah, they really got a task ahead of them. It's more of one of those. The Ravens lost it, than the Bills won it.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So it's interesting. What's it called? The Eagles look good. I mean, I know the Skins look good, but I'm sorry, the Commanders look good with the with Daniels. However, I just think Philly's defense and Vic Fangio's got something for him. It's finally gonna, and no shame. I mean, they had a great run. They have a good scheme. Granted, the game hasn't been played yet. I could be wrong in so many ways. I mean, they could get a break on a special teams play too that just kills momentum.
Someone gets hurt.
Momentum huge. Yeah. No.
It hurts.
Yeah, I don't talk about injuries.
I know, but
it hurts like look sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he's got a nagging injury that not really like confessing or bringing to light. They're just saying like, he's questionable or something like that. But it might be worse than that.
Yeah, well, I remember. Yeah, he got rolled up on, and it looked like his knee was hobbling him.
Yeah.
However, he finished the game, so you never know.
Right. Yeah. So your predictions for this weekend. Even though this is coming out on Friday, so we're going to be either right or freezing cold take.
I think we're going to have Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl.
I think you're right. I hope it's Eagles Bills. I'm pulling for Eagles Bills, but whatever. Either way, our team's not even in it, so who cares?
Right.
And I don't really hate any of the other teams, not even the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs have beat us a couple times in the Super Bowl. It is what it is. It's not like just upset that we didn't do as well as I thought we could have in those Super Bowls. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think the Chiefs get a lot of hate for the conspiracy and the refs are helping them. I do like to joke about it though. It's kind of fun just
Oh yeah.
to say it, but I don't really believe it. It is what it is, man. It sucks that unless you're a Chiefs fan, it sucks that they keep winning, but who cares? I mean, they're not gonna spoil my days if they win.
Right.
All right, man. Anything else you'd like to bring up before we sign off?
I do. To put this at the list at the end, I didn't talk to you about it. However, you're at your Copper State Beer Festival,
Yeah.
and it just coincidentally, and I wanted to talk to you about it. Um, so it'd be like 2 weeks ago by the time this show dropped. The guys I know over at the Happy Trails podcast
Yeah.
on, on their social media, they just threw out a question. Um, like I guess because they referred to a beer festival as a small beer festival, or they referred to a beer festival as a no, it was a small one. So someone asked them, "Well, what do you consider a big beer festival?" And
Hmm.
then they posed that question on social media. And I'm going to ask you, what do you consider a big beer festival?
That's a good question. But yeah, is it like the actual size of the place,
Yeah,
or the amount of participants, or the amount of attendees?
you
Like
know that, that
something. Yeah.
yeah, that's all. That's all the easy answer for, or the easy answer. Yeah, just more is big, but
Hmm.
that doesn't necessarily make it better, right?
Yeah, because Firestone Walker doesn't have like like 100 vendors there, but it's exclusive, so that's what makes it like premium.
Right. Yeah. So there you go. That's a good word. What's it? Premiative?
Premiumization.
Yeah. The premiumization of beer festivals. Now, then I actually responded. I go, that's my thing. I go, I guess for me, what makes it what I would call a big beer festival is a good beer festival,
Mhm.
and now that I know, like, I remember the first beer festivals I went to were the San Francisco International Beer Festivals.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was huge. It was huge. But then you learn more about the industry and you realize that, okay, half these guys are the barrier brewers that are grinding it out and trying to, establish something. And then the other half of these guys are just vendors that show up from the big boys, and cool. They all drink together, which is cool because there's so many options. Yeah, there's like, I don't know, like maybe 80 to 90 tables there easily.
Yeah.
But then yeah, we start doing stuff that's like SF Beer Week, and yeah, the numbers are smaller, but the demand there is there. The crowd is just as big. It's just like, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then you
Yeah.
realize what's really going on in the beer game. So yeah, I don't know. To me, like, yeah, if even if you have a lot of vendors, if I could go to Safeway and recreate this in my, or if anyone runs out and they could go to Safeway and get their booth back up and going,
Right.
okay, is it that big of a deal? So
Yeah.
I
Does
don't know.
that make
I'm
it
not
better? Yeah.
knocking. Yeah, I'm not knocking it because the vendors too. They're just trying to make a living like everyone else, and a beer festival is a great way for people to sample their products and become familiar with their brand and what they offer as well. So nothing against them. It just you know then I think of, you got that Wild and Woody beer festival.
Real Wild and Woody. Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of those beers are available in the stores, right?
No. Yeah. In
Yeah,
fact, like
it's a
they all
super,
have to
yeah,
do one exclusive beer each time.
yeah. So yeah, that's so by volume and size, that's a smaller beer festival, right?
Yeah. It's smaller, but it's still a great beer
Yeah,
festival.
yeah. You're like walking sideways after going down one row, right?
Yeah, because it has to touch wood. That's what it's a real wild and woody. So it's either a real ale, a wild ale, or it came either it's barrel aged or at least beechwood aged.
There
Thank you.
you
That's a good question. Yeah, the Copper State Beer Festival, it's bigger. It got bigger this year and probably better because it's not exclusive as far as some of the spots, but a few of the places brewed beer just for that festival. So there's the exclusivity, and um, some of the vendors, even though they distribute here in Arizona, they're kind of hard to come by, on a consistent basis. But they do have distro here, so they're able to come out and pour at the event. So it also makes it more exciting that way. So we had 70 beer vendors this year, which is huge when it comes to beer festivals in Arizona. And I could see this becoming, no knock on the guild and when they put on their beer festivals, because they promote Arizona, but we can get all the beers. Like we can go to all the breweries that are represented at the Strong Beer and Real Wild and Woody. The Copper State, they're like trying to pull in vendors from other states, and stuff you don't get all the time are going to be there now. And so and the breweries can send beer here, even if they don't send a rep. They can actually send beer that they may not be able to get. We may not be able to get in the stores readily. So it's amazing. It was a great event, and they did a lot better job organizing the event this year than they did last year, and next year is going to be even better.
There you go.
Yeah, fun times. Yeah. No, and real quick, just for all the listeners out there, I got invited to be at another beer festival in March 2nd. I'm going to be at the Saddle Mountain First Responders fundraiser.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I met up with John from Saddle Mountain. I interviewed him at the Copper State, and then he asked me, this on Instagram, he asked me if I wanted to interview if I was interested in interviewing like the owners of Saddle Mountain or a brewer or anything. And I told him I'd get back to him, and when I did get back to him, I was like, hey, how about this day, February 23rd, I think it said. He's like, would you like to have your booth at our event on March 2nd? I'm like, fucking sign. Yeah. Without a doubt. Like I didn't have to wait, like I didn't leave him on red for like 2 seconds before I said yes.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, so I'll be there March 2nd. Is I got an event. I have ideas for my little booth. It's going to be growing each year, and so I already want to improve from one event to the next. All right, man. Yeah, great talking. Yeah, great talking about beer with you. Thank you out there for downloading yet again another Cöld Brüe podcast. I am Greg. He is Sorcerer Chromatic, and we'd like to wish you cheers.
Until next time.